There's one decision that I make every year that has completely changed how my business performs and has nothing to do with setting bigger goals, working harder, or pushing myself more. In fact, it's a decision that most entrepreneurs avoid making because it feels really uncomfortable at first. But once I started doing this, everything about my business felt clearer, steadier, and more predictable. Hi, my name's Yvonne Bramble, a business coach and consultant, and I help entrepreneurs master strategy, systems, and mindset so you can really lead, scale, and grow your business with confidence and clarity. And this is day 4 of my 10-day series, the New Year Celebrations for Entrepreneur series. Now remember to click on the playlist to watch all 10 episodes in this series. You won't want to miss one because we build each video over each other so that this training really is really comprehensive. Days 1 through 3, I help you rethink your goals, redefine your identity, and stop the hustle. Now today, day 4, we'll be doing a deep dive into having more clarity in your direction and the one decision that can really change your business. But I want to start by telling you a story because this decision did not come from a textbook or a framework. It came from really hitting the same wall year after year and realizing something had to change if I was going to scale and grow. You see, there was one pattern that I kept repeating. For a long time, every new year started the same way. And maybe this sounds familiar. New year, new me, right? So that meant a whole new set of goals and a whole new set of plans to go along with it, right? So new goals and a new set of plans and a lot of motivation to fuel that. Well, then somewhere along the way, things would get noisy, right? Opportunities would pop up, priorities would blur, new products would, the shiny object syndrome, new product, new service, squirrels. So I'd find myself reacting instead of leading. So even though I was doing all the right things, something just was off. And the frustrating part was my business wasn't moving with the consistency I wanted. You see, I'd see cycles where things were great, but then they'd dip again, and then they'd be great, and then dip again. So there would be lull periods, but I didn't want that. I wanted consistency. I needed the safety and security of having a stable, consistent, and reliable cash flow. I'm sure that sounds familiar to you. So that's when I realized that the problem wasn't the effort that I was putting in because I was doing a lot of work. I was putting in the hours. But see, my problem was not that. It was a lack of clarity around the direction for my business. And see, the decision that changed everything was this. I stopped letting this year or the new year decide my priorities, okay? And I chose them in advance. I had to be more intentional about my priorities. Just because it was a new year doesn't mean I have to change my goals, right? Or set new goals. So instead of asking, what do I feel like working on today, right? Or what's urgent now for my business? Okay, and those are good questions, but everything has to be in its place. I asked a more strategic question, and this is just the millimeter shift that I needed, and most business owners actually need. It's just this little slight tweak, this millimeter shift in my thinking, in my mindset, and in my approach, because that shift in approach really was the catalyst that changed everything. I asked one question at the start of the year, and it was this: what must stay true no matter what comes up? What must stay true no matter what comes up? No matter what is happening externally, whether it's the economy, whether it's something happened with my biggest client, or something's happening with the manufacturer for this product. What must stay true no matter what comes up externally in my business? And that one decision, those decisions that came as a result of asking that question, created a filter. So every opportunity, every request, every idea, even every distraction had to pass through that filter. What must stay true no matter what comes up? Because that set my priorities. And I had to line all these new things against those priorities, against the fundamental things that I knew must happen. So for example, sales and marketing, having a strong marketing strategy and an efficient sales funnel and a sales engine that supports it. I knew that these specific action items for my sales and marketing in my business had to stay true. Also, the operations. There are certain things from an operational perspective that had to stay true for my business, no matter what happened externally, okay? And nothing was gonna be able to dictate that but myself and the type of business I was in. So that's gonna look differently. If I ask each one of my clients, they would have a different response, right? So it's very unique to your business landscape. So if you want some support in this, I'm happy to support you through this book, your one-on-one coaching session with me, and I'd be happy to step through that with you. But going back to my story, once I made that decision, or rather the set of decisions against that one question, something surprising happened. See, the business started to feel calmer. Decisions became easier, and I stopped the overthinking. My stress and my anxiety went down because all the decision fatigue was gone. And I finally felt like my mind was clear because I had clarity in my business. I was crystal clear about my intention, my purpose, and my priorities. And I wasn't constantly pulled off course. See, my energy was focused. And so it generated the momentum that my business needed. See, momentum started to build naturally because my energy wasn't scattered anymore. It was focused. And this is what most entrepreneurs miss. They miss consistency, right? The consistency that comes from focus. See, consistency doesn't come from motivation. It comes from commitment to a few priorities and the discipline against that commitment to show up, daily to those commitments. Now, this doesn't mean that you ignore opportunities or stop being flexible. You have to remain flexible and be able to adapt to new opportunities. But it does mean that you stop letting everything have equal importance, you see? So you decide what actually moves the business forward, what moves that needle forward for your business, and you protect it. That's what it is at the end of the day. And saying no becomes easier. That reminds me of a quote from Warren Buffett. He says, the difference between successful people and very successful people is that very successful people say no to almost everything. So you see, letting things go becomes strategic, not emotional. And that's when performance changes, not because you're doing more, but because you're finally doing what matters. Now, if you want this year to feel different, this is the decision to make. You've got to choose your priorities before the noise starts. Decide what gets your time, energy, and focus, and let everything else fall away. That means letting go. You've got to shed all of these distractions and stay focused. And staying focused means letting go. Now, inside the Six Figure Business Society, this is exactly how we help entrepreneurs operate, by creating clarity first, then building systems around it so performance doesn't depend on willpower and hustle, right, or motivation, but it relies on the consistency and the discipline that you need to stay focused, to scale, grow, and lead your business efficiently. Now, if this resonates with you, click the link below and join me inside the Six Figure Business Society. You don't need more effort. You need clear decisions. This is my 10-day series, the New Year's Celebration for Entrepreneur series. Remember to click on the playlist to watch all 10 episodes in this series. You won't want to miss one. Now, if days 1 to 3 helped you rethink your goals, redefine your identity, and stop the hustle. Day 4 today was about clarifying your direction and that one question that would make the difference. Now, tomorrow's topic is your business is stuck because you're still thinking like an operator. So we're talking about why staying in operator mode quietly limits your growth and stops you from being able to scale, even when your business is growing. So I'll see you on day 5. Oceans of love and light. Till next time.